Welcome to the Ricelogs, a series of devlogs about the projects we're working on here at Friend Rice Studios. I am Saria, aka Animal of the Elements, the lead character designer and animator for our current game, Pirouette Princess, a bullet hell-style magical girl shooter. Our topic today? The thought process behind the design of our main protagonist, Pirouette Princess Addie. Hey, wanna see the very first version of Addie? I know you do. Okay. Ready? Ta-da! Isn't she cute? Yeah, no, this is the sketch I did when I first did my pitch for the game, in my presentation. And as you can see, quite a few elements stayed in her final look, namely the shape of her hair, her round body, and the wide skirt. The game is a top-down shooter where one of the main mechanics is a pirouette that can reflect projectiles, so I needed to make sure she can still read on screen while still being a small sprite and have the skirt that fans out when you spin. I'm a pretty big proponent of you need to be able to tell what their gameplay is by just looking at them for character designs in games, so that's very important to me. She's a magical girl with a big wand, she's fast because she has roller skates, and she spins with her big skirt flying about. With those key points in place, it was time to actually get her details down. And that meant iteration. So when we say iteration in the business, it basically means that you make different versions of a character design or a color scheme until you get what the director wants. The director goes oh, let's focus on the elements of this one and go from there. Except we don't have a director, we kind of are just three people who talk and decide, yeah, this looks good. By locking in Addie's look, we essentially lock in the overall aesthetic for the game. Aside from my previous points, the other idea that was more or less decided was that we wanted to go a little more modern, or at the very least, not the typical magical high fantasy look for our magical girl. So I begin with 3 outfits. One that leaned into a little more of a sporty girl look, a la River City Girls. And then 2 that were different versions of the rockabilly 50s look. I thought, despite the game kind of taking place in modern era, almost futuristic depending on where you are, I thought the style of that 50s inspired fashion was a good mix of edgy and feminine that was fitting. But in the end, we start to go down the girly pop Y2K look by making adjustments to the first outfit. With some testing and combining items from the other 2 outfits, we got her lines. Puffy varsity jacket with patches and a midi skirt with ruffles along the edges. Next comes the color, and I have to admit, I'm not the best with color. At all. So the coloring stage for all of the character designs have been nightmares at best. We start with these 3 looks, which, wow, okay, these don't look the best, but we had to start somewhere. From here, it was the second one that we kept as our base. Keep the hair, jacket, and legs, figure out the rest. And that's when it hit me. How about denim? Denim was kind of the staple in the early 2000s for fashion. If she's reminiscent of that era, it's weirder for her to not have something denim. Now, the denim skirt idea didn't pass, but that denim blue color was what we needed to keep the balance of the design so it wasn't just a pale pink and yellow mess. Switch up the colors and bam! There she was. Pirouette Princess Addie. Instead of the material of the jacket being denim, it was now a dusty, desaturated blue jacket she personalizes. She doesn't start in the best place financially in the game story, so the color switch helps ground her in reality more. Her clothes are simple, her accessories are cheap, her dress is probably the most expensive thing she has, but it doesn't look particularly fancy. Now, she's ready to go save Pitch City by skating through bullet hell. And that was just the end of the Ricelog. I could go into so much detail about the thought process between how I design characters personally, and also the ideas behind the game's story, which helps inform the design. But you'll start to learn more of those as we go through the different character designs, because I do definitely want to kind of talk at least like a little bit about everybody, because it's fun. And everyone's got like kind of like their own story to tell with how we developed them and the like. So next time, on our next Ricelog, I will be covering some details about our first tutorial boss, Breakdance Bunny Mel, and I'll also be kind of going into how we decided on like the final render look of the game, because I think that's also an important point of discussion that no one ever really talks about. Like, oh, how do you decide the art style for a project? So I thought it would be like fun to talk about that. And aside from that, yeah, no, these are kind of meant to be kept short, kind of like catch people's interest, hopefully. And if that worked, the pre-launch for the Pirouette Princess Kickstarter is up right now. Pirouette Princess on Kickstarter. We will be launching July 11th. So if you want to be one of the first people to grab some of the early bird perks, I recommend giving it a follow. Or even if you're not planning on donating at all, like it would really help us a lot if you at least gave it a follow. The numbers help. So yeah. Hope you enjoy this short little casual devlog, and we'll see you next time back here at Friend Rice Studios. We'll see you around.